Men who have sought therapy, how did you benefit from it? How has your life changed? I see lots of men in different comment sections saying that therapy does not work for men. I would like to hear from men who have sought therapy to see if it is worth it to get help. Thank you for your kind words. I learned that it's acceptable to talk about how I'm feeling without fear of repercussions. I also keep the right company who won't take advantage of my vulnerability. I also learned that anger is a secondary emotion. Therapy just gives you the tools to deal with your problems. You still have to do the work. Let's say you need to build a cabinet. Therapy would be a drill. So you having the tool doesn't build the cabinet, right? You still gotta drill in the hinges yourself. You learn how to identify your own triggers, e.g., anger, trauma, emotions, rage, etc. How to cope, manage through those triggers. Learning about yourself, the good, bad, ugly. Developing your toolbox kit to get through life's challenges. My only regret is seeking therapy counseling at a very dangerous part of my life, e.g., rock bottom. I realized that I'm a blessed one who finally was able to get the help that I needed before it was too late. It really helped me a lot, but I also had a shit therapist that made me stop for a while. My first one was a nice lady who just asked me how it was going and how that made me feel and stuff. Didn't really help at all and just said dumb stuff like that's a lot to go through. My current therapist helps me build strategies to deal with shit and behavioral systems to change the stuff I don't like, and it's made a huge difference. He calls me out on my bullshit in a helpful way, and it makes me challenge the way I think, feel and act. It's been a massive benefit to me. It's helped with my depression and anxiety. My overthinking. Helped me come to terms with my sexuality. I'm still not perfect because nobody is. But it's been incredibly beneficial. I'm kind of better than I was, so it must have helped. Made me understand more about myself, why I'm who I am. When I get anxious, I now recognize it, and why it's happening doesn't always stop it, but I can explain it. Helped me come to terms with some childhood trauma. I'd say I'm not sure if I've changed a huge amount, but relationships with my wife and daughter have improved. They say I'm less stressed and angry. Plus, it's helped me understand the pain I caused them. It's not solved everything, but it's not made things worse. It was okay. I learned some techniques and got put onto a pretty good book for managing anxiety. I would feel weird when the appointment came and I had nothing to share though. It helped me identify events and chapters in my life that have shaped the way I am and how I handle daily life. The correlation between events and behaviors has helped me change what I don't like and improve myself. Dr. John Delaney has a great podcast. It helped me come to grips with some intense anxiety issues that were getting to the point where life wasn't worth living anymore. Finding a good therapist is like finding a good pair of shoes. Sometimes it matches. Sometimes it doesn't. Therapy was nice since it let me have a place to feel vulnerable. Just wish I didn't have to pay for the privilege. A good therapist is amazing if you listen to them and try the tools and exercises they give you to improve. Highly recommend. But with that said, if you don't think it's a good fit, move on. I was stressed out. Working in medicine. I was sued. Ultimately dismissed, but it was tied up in court for 5 years. That weighs on you. It's taught me a lot of skills like being able to communicate how I feel. Thinking more about how I'm feeling in the moment and using that to be closer to others. It has also helped me be more assertive about what I actually want and need. Generally, I'm a better person. I find I can empathize with others more, and it really helped my relationship. I do more asking for what I need and less getting resentful when I don't get what I never asked for. I've been seeing a therapist for about 4 or 5 years now. It's only been the last 6 months that I have actually started to talk about my past. Up until then, I would discuss more superficial stresses but nothing related to my friends or family. Just as with him, I'm starting to gain a little bit more trust in people. I haven't had any kind of breakthrough where all of the sudden I'm cruising through life. But I think it's helped. It's beneficial till it's not. It depends what you're trying to achieve. Got my shit together. Realized what I want to do and need in my life and started my path to obtain them. There are a lot of well-written and thought-out answers here. What I will add is that all therapists are not good. You will have to assess the capabilities of your therapist and see if they are good for you. You might need see more than a few therapists before finding the right one. Therapy works if you have the right therapist, are honest with them, are ready to listen, and are ready to work on yourself. I tried. It made my burnout worse. Dealing with intense work-related burnout. But the therapist just recommended some homework to try and identify the issues. Burnout was the issue. I needed help to relax instead of adding more work onto my plate of daily living and work stress. Every session gave me a new piece of homework that I couldn't accomplish. And it was more harmful in the long run. Only ever went a handful of times. Horrible experience every time. Constantly interrupted me. Would ask a question and then argue with the answer. In any scenario, I talked about problems with my ex. Including when I literally caught my ex cheating, she would say things like, "What do you think you could have done to make her cheat?" I drew the line and eventually walked out when she said I displayed toxic masculinity when I told her after growing up being legitimately abused and forced to hide all my emotions and that I now didn't have the ability to cry, even if I wanted to. I felt my therapist was full of shit. To be honest, therapy isn't for everyone, nor is having gone to therapy in any way a gold standard of being a proper human being. Therapy is like church. Some people need it to find their way. Others just do. To each their own. I had therapy sessions in my late 20s. It's helpful, and talking to professional is different than opening up to my close group of friends. Give it a try. If it doesn't work, you don't have to continue. I have done therapy regularly for years. I'm honestly not sure if it helps. If nothing else, it's nice to be able to be honest with someone about how I'm feeling. I've been in therapy for 9 months. It's not the miracle cure a lot of Reddit seems to think it is. But I really do like it. I'm not positive it has objectively improved my life. I can't point to anything specific and be like, see that. Therapy fixed that for me. But it feels good, and I have the sense that it's helping me somehow in a way that's hard to pin down. If you're considering it, I'd go for it. I think therapy is underutilized. I've learned a lot about myself, and how events in my childhood contributed to current behaviors, and how to start changing those behaviors. I think some people seem to think that therapy is going to fix you, and that's just not going to happen. Therapy will, however, give you the tools to work on yourself and eventually fix yourself. I mostly use BetterHelp for therapy. While not as good as in-person therapy, it's a good choice for those on a budget. Therapy was a big help for me. I learned the whole tough it out and deal with it mentality doesn't always work. Helped me learn to set proper boundaries and how to better deal with my emotions. I can honestly say, it helped me through a tough time and gave me the tools to better handle things the next time life gets tough. Tried a couple of times with different therapists. It's been a waste of time and money so far. Heck, just reading this and seeing that other people have brains to work out on is comforting.